Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel Tech with Yashwant. In this video, let us see how we can stream the data or read the data from your Kafka cluster in your Databricks workspace. So in order to achieve this, you should have your Kafka cluster which is producing the data into a topic. 2, you will have a Databricks free edition environment. So it's completely free. Go ahead and create an environment so that you can use it. Second, you should have a topic which has got data in it. So in my case, I'm using Confluent Cloud, which has got a sample data gen producer or a connector which will produce sample users data into my Kafka topics. So I'm going to stream that or read that data from the Kafka cluster in my Databricks environment in a free tier account. So in order to achieve this, you should have these two requirements. If you have these two, let's get into the video and get started. All right. So if you're following me on the Databricks series, this is the repository where I'll be updating all the code that are required for the lab sessions. So for this one, I have created a file called a read stream from kafka.py. I'm just going to explain the code once so that you can understand. So firstly, if you see here, I'm using this parameters where I'm setting my bootstrap server of the Kafka server, the topic where I've stored the data, and the API key and the secret in order to authenticate with the Kafka bootstrap server. Then in order to read the stream from Kafka, so I'm using PySpark.sql functions. So I'm importing all those here in the first line of code. And then my data looks like this. It has got register time, user ID, region ID, gender. So all these are present in my data. So I'm setting that into schema. And here I'm passing the Kafka options. So if you see here, I'm passing the bootstrap server. The security protocol would be SASL, SSL. And then it is going to be plain text. Then here I need to update the username and the password again, or you can also call these two parameters in here. And subscribe, I'm just letting it to be subscribed to Confluent topic name and string offsets from the earliest. So it will start reading from the earliest. So firstly, I'm creating a data frame here, which is going to use a read stream. If you're reading a stream, so you should use a read stream, and format would be Kafka options. I'm getting it from the Kafka options and I'm loading the data. Then I want to remove the non-JSON leading characters from the value field. So I'm just cleaning that here with some regex expressions. And finally, I'm passing the clean JSON string here. So if you see, this is what, and I'm displaying the results in the output. So this will work if you're running the code for the first time, but if you want, you can write the data into a managed Delta table in your Databricks environment, and then you can read the data as well. So what you can do is you can just copy the code from here and create a notebook in your Databricks environment. So this is my Databricks free edition. So click on new and then you can open notebook and paste the code that you have copied. So what I've done is I've added my API key and the secret. So you should never share your API key and the secrets with anybody else. So I'm going to delete that after this demonstration, and that's all I've done. So if you see here, I'm just keeping the rest of the things as is. Let's go ahead and start producing the data. So let me log into my Confluent environment and start producing the data. Right. So if you see here, I'm in my Confluent Cloud environment and this is my cluster, and I've created an API key which is required in order to authenticate. And if you see, I do not have a topic. So let's go to connector and create a sample data connector. So let me click on this. So I'm going to go with users. So I'll click on users and click on launch. So what will this do is it will start producing the data, sample data, which is required in order to work for this demonstration. So while that is getting created, I wanted to show you one more thing. So basically I had run this demo once, so that's the reason why you're seeing the output. But if you're running it for the first time, you won't be seeing any output here. And if you see here, I've mentioned checkpoint location with an S3 point. Basically, whenever you are reading the data, it will store the details or the offset details somewhere. So for that to happen, you should mention something called as checkpoint location. So in this example, what I've done is I've created an S3 bucket, which is going to be your external location in Databricks. So if you do not know how to create an external location, I'll create a separate video on that and post it in the same playlist. So feel free to check that out. So after doing that, mention the S3 location here. So if you see here, this is my S3 folder, and if you get inside this, so you can see the data now. But later on, if you, for example, let me delete this as I've run this demo already. So you're seeing that. So for now, let me delete this. This is just to show you. Okay. Now I'll go ahead and delete objects. If you see, it has deleted all the objects. Now, if I go ahead and run this code, you will see the automatically the metadata resources will be added on that S3 object. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if the connector is up. So if you see here, the connector is up. We go to topic as well, and let's see if the data is being produced. Okay, so it's loading the data. Let's wait for a moment. As you can see, this is how the data looks: register time, user ID, region, gender. Now let's go ahead and read this in the Databricks environment. So let me go ahead and run it. So for now, it's starting the connector or starting the cluster itself. If you see here, now the result has been vanished. It is running it. Let's wait for the results. If you see here, it is initializing the stream and it is checkpointing to S3. So if you go back to your S3 bucket, now refresh it, it will create commits, metadata, offsets, sources, state, all the state information, metadata details will be stored in your S3 bucket. So why did you see that details before? It is because I had already run this query once just to check if everything is working fine. That's the reason why you should see that. But when you're doing it for the first time, you won't be seeing all these details. Now, if I come here, if you see the result has been published here, if you see register time, user ID, region ID, gender, and all the details are being updated here. So if you want this to be continuously run, there is another approach. Let me know in the comments if I want to show that. And you can also create a table out of it. You can write to a table and then probably run select star on that table and you can see the data. So this is how you can bring the data from your Kafka cluster or a Kafka topic into your Databricks environment and read it. Also, if you want me to show the continuous read approach, let me know in the comments. I'll create a separate video on that. So that's it for this video. If you're liking the content that I'm creating, please consider subscribing and share it with your friends. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video.